we'll switch over to the offensive side with Cam Jurgens. Open it up with Sean Callahan first.
Hey, Cam, we just asked JoJo about this, but what was it like kind of going through the testing? I mean, I know you're a competitor. I mean, you were used to winning shot put and all these titles growing up. Did you get competitive doing all the post-winter conditioning testing with the guys out there?
Oh yeah, it's kind of a lot of fun getting to see like your old numbers and just seeing how you can within a few months of like doing workouts and stuff, just how much you can improve. But like the point like Frost would emphasize is just they used to do this back in the 90s. So being able to see those guys' scores and being able to see some of our guys on the team just blow that out of the water and shows us like we're just as athletic and big and we can do everything that they did in the 90s, and we just need to keep working on it. But it was cool because when we're doing squats and hang cleans, everybody, the whole team's around us, offense and defense, cheering everybody on. We want everybody to hit their numbers and hit their marks. So it wasn't necessarily like people just testing out, but it was more people just cheering everyone on. And so the camaraderie of it was really awesome to see.
Parker Gabriel, Lincoln Journal-Star.
Hey Cam, I'm curious about your individual goals for the spring. What do you want to get accomplished on the field? And I know there's some guys older than you in the room, but in terms of the group that you had starting last year, you're like suddenly the old man in the group. So how do you see your leadership sort of standing, progressing to as you go through?
Yeah, I think spring ball, I mean, it's so far away from the season, but it's such an important time to get work with the guys around you and be able to come together as a cohesive group, not only just perfecting your skills, but like me, since I'm kind of that older guy in the room and had that time on the field, it just kind of helps me to kind of work on my leadership skills more than anything and just working on parts of my game to where it's just shoring up everything.
Sam McEwen, World Herald.
Hey, Cam. You've been the starting center now for 2 years, and I'm curious how you've seen the identity of the offense evolve, and what do you think it's going to be here in the spring? What do you think the identity of the offense is? Like, if you had to hang your hat on something.
Well, I think the identity of the offense we want to bring is winning football, so that's what we're working on. Any way we can get more explosive plays. I think that's something that's lacked a little bit. It's just those big explosive plays in the run game or pass game. So we can just pound the ball and get those yards and then finally break some big ones here and there. That just helps a ton. I think that was lacking. I think that's what we need to find and get going forward, is having more of an explosive offense.
I don't know that we've talked to you since maybe the Iowa game, or I'm not sure if we have, but how's the snapping going? I mean, that's an ongoing question, obviously, from fans, but how's that going?
No doubt. I mean, it's something I need to work on every day. And, I mean, it's just kind of a problem that we've had. And it shouldn't be a problem going forward. And that's what I'm trying to work on. I mean, I don't want to have my name get brought up for snaps anymore. So, obviously, that's going to be something that I'm going to be working on getting fixed. That shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
24/7 Sports, Brian Christopherson.
Hey, Cam, how big a deal was, I know it's just one game, but the Rutgers game, the way you finished it out with some guys like Turner getting in there who's going to, play going forward, and sort of the nucleus that you're going to have. How much of a confidence boost was that game for you guys to get that under your belt going into this year?
Yeah, I think it was great, especially for Turner. I mean, that was his first game starting. And then coming off that game, he just kind of got a little experience under his belt. But for all of us as a unit, I mean, turn the ball over. They had so many big plays on us, and yet we found a way to win and just fighting through the adversity. And I think that's going to be something that like you need to do every game. And hopefully we're not turning the ball over that much this next year and having those problems arise. But if it does, we can fight through the adversity and find a way to win. I mean, that's all that matters. I mean, you're going to look back on the Rutgers game and see we found a way to win. You're not going to say the Rutgers did this and that to us and we turned the ball over. So I think we just need to keep that fighting adversity.
I wanted to ask you about one guy because Coach Frost brought him up talking about the line, and that's Ezra Miller, who was a big time recruit, and he came over here last year. What have you noticed out of him early on? And I know it's early, but what have you seen from him?
Yeah, I like Ezra a lot. He's a hardworking kid, and he's got a lot of talent. So he's going to be getting a lot of reps, and I'm kind of excited to see how he can progress because he's got a lot better since he's been here, and we're all kind of excited to see where he can go. He's a good kid.
Thank you, Cam.
Ms. Sherman, The Athletic.
Hey Cam, what kind of a role do you want the offensive line to have within the structure of the offense? I mean, obviously you guys block and pass protect, but as far as how much everyone around you can rely on the offensive line, what do you envision for 2021?
I would say definitely the O-line. We want to be the tone setters of the offense. We want to be aggressive. We want to be mean. And we want to go out there and set the tone for the game. I mean, that's how the O-line and D-line should be playing. But we also need to be smart. We can't have as many penalties as we did last year. So we need to work on cleaning up all those penalties, but just playing aggressive and mean.
Derek Peterson, Hail Varsity.
Yeah, you were talking a little bit earlier about being one of the more experienced guys in the room right now, just based off of playing time. I'm curious, does your role change a little bit this spring? Like, do you look at a guy like Brant Banks and say, I'm going to try to teach him what I know or something like that? Or I guess, how does your role change now that somebody like Brendan Hymas or Matt Farniok is out the door?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely need to step up a little bit more vocally, being a vocal leader. Last year, Matt Farniok was such a vocal leader for the O-line that, like, it really other guys didn't need to step up and be as vocal because he just took care of so much. So just stepping up vocally and helping the rest of the guys on the O-line, especially the young guys, and then everybody, and just kind of need to be that voice and during the game and in practice and just be consistent with it.
Thanks, Cam.
Final one for Cam, Steve Sipple, General Star.
Hello, Cam. How exactly does an offensive line go about reducing those flags for jumping, holding, etc.? What goes on in practice to help alleviate those problems?
I think it's just the guys around him. You know, if somebody jumps off sides, I mean, he needs to understand how important it is, but the guys around him just need to let him know. I mean, if it's important to you, it's not going to happen. If it is important to everybody else, you're going to hold them accountable. I mean, setting that bar, setting the tone to where it should be, where it's no bad snaps, no false starts, and nothing. So, I mean, everybody needs to hold everyone accountable, and I think if it matters, it's going to get done.
Thank you, Cam.
All right, thanks, Cam. We will have a couple more players here shortly.